What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Episode 4 of the Locale Lounge. Marc and Nick back here again. We're excited for our second consecutive guest on the Locale Lounge. We have Chris here. Chris.
Ethan!
Sorry, Ethan.
Where was Chris coming from? Where was Chris coming from? What's up, Chris?
I was thinking of not pizza. What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Episode 4 of the Locale Lounge. Marc and Nick are back here with our second consecutive guest on the podcast. We have Ethan here.
Not Chris.
One of the co-founders, we can say, for Q&E Keystone Masonry. So what we want to get into today is, much like Nick and myself, Ethan has did the dreaded, I'm going to go into business with my friend thing. But it seems to be working out pretty okay for you. So Ethan, tell us a little bit about how you got started, how you decided to go into business with your partners or your friends, and how you guys have been able to grow and what that dynamic kind of looks like.
Great dynamic. Couldn't do it without Quentin. He's the man. Short breakdown of how it all went down. We both had our own companies, and he kind of did a lot more concrete. I did more masonry, pointing, stucco, stuff like that. So two very different things, very different finishes. So I wasn't really comfortable taking on a lot of the concrete stuff. So I reached out to him one day and asked him if he wanted to kind of join forces, and he was like, yeah, we'll talk about it. And I kept calling him, and he kept dodging me. So maybe that's something friend, right? Thanks, Clint. But then finally, I drove by his house, and he was out there doing some yard work, and I skirted around. I said, I'm gonna get this guy. Get him. So I pulled up on him. I said, yo, what's up, dude? Like, what's going on? And he was dealing with some other stuff, and he thought that would get in the way. And I was like, dude, let's just see what happens. Do a couple jobs together and see what happens. So he was like, yeah, screw it, let's do it. So we did our first concrete job, and I remember I was out there, had my camera out the whole time. I don't know if I did much work. I think I was just doing a lot of camera work. But he was kind of looking at me like, dude, what the hell are you doing? Like, let's just get the job done. Like, it's concrete. We got to move. And I'm sitting here like, angling the camera, doing, different views and stuff. But I was like, dude, we gotta showcase our work. And, so we did that job. We started posting pictures, and we both know a lot of people. So we got a lot of traction real quick on our social media. And, it kind of just took off from there. And we kind of just fell into our roles in the company. And I told him what I wanted to do. And I said, yo, let's make a logo. Let's brand a new name, and let's join forces. And, we did that, and it kind of took off. Every year we've been doing better and better. And like I said, Quentin's the yin to my yang. I'm like more like crazy, and when I get like that, he calms me down, and he's very analytic. So he like, let's calm down, let's think this through.
Yeah.
Not do anything stupid. So that helps, because I guarantee if I was not with him, I probably would have shit the bed. I don't know if I'm allowed to curse on here.
You can.
Okay, we can curse on here. So, I probably would have lost it on a customer, or, I probably would have some bad reviews based on just my temper. And like I said, sometimes I pass the rock to him, and we're dealing with a client where I'm trying my best to bite my tongue, and it's like, you're doing everything you can to make someone happy, and it's just, they're not happy. So it's like, so I'll call Quint. Yo, Quint, you got to take this one, bro. You got to take this one. I got this, Ethan. I got this. So we've had and vice versa. Quentin's gone to a job before, and this guy wasn't trying to pay us, and he said he walked off the job without getting paid, which is totally fine. I totally get it. This customer was absolutely horrible. The job was literally perfect, and he was just didn't want to pay us. So I got on the phone with him. I said, I'm either going to show up to the house and start breaking your patio apart, or we'll just take you to court, and we're going to win. You're going to have to pay us no matter what. So I talked to him for a little bit. We went back and forth, and went back and got paid. So it works both ways with us, and I'm sure he'd say the same thing if he was sitting here.
So let's back up a second. How long did you know him before you guys?
So before, we knew each other for a long time. Probably like 10 years. So like we grew up
before going into business together.
Yeah, but like we weren't like he had a friend group. He was a little older. He's about 2 years older than me. So my brother was closer to his age, and but we seen each other out, and you know, I knew. So actually, before I even thought about starting my company, he had his own company, or he was working with someone, and he kind of started doing his own thing, and I actually worked for him a couple times before. So it just kind of, like I said, it just kind of panned out.
You guys were just like, you weren't like, oh, like this is my best friend.
Yeah,
You guys
no.
But
We, like when we were out, I'd say
together.
what's up. I'd shoot the shit with him, and you know, we'd have a beer together, whatever.
You ever think he ignored you because he thought maybe you were like a stage 5 cleaner or something?
That
drive-bys.
now,
Mixtapes.
now he knows for himself that I truly am a stage 5 cleaner because he can't get away from me. But yeah, man, I'm blessed to have him as a business partner, man, and you know, it wouldn't work without him. There's no possible. It would be really, really tough. And like everyone that says go into business by yourself, that might work for certain people. But you know, if you're able to put your ideas aside and let other people, you know, have some insight and actually truly like listen to them and work as a team, then I believe that having a business partner is nothing but good. If you're able to do that. And sometimes I struggle with that, but again, Quentin has some serious patience, and I'm not sure it could work with anyone else, to be completely fair. So, I mean, yeah, it's a really good thing. And right now we're just trying to scale, and we're trying to work with you guys to help us automate our systems, integrate our CRM with our website. So I believe these guys can do it. They're awesome.
Yeah. I mean, going back to the business partner thing, I mean, we do very well together. Same thing, yin and yang. I can speak about my other company, QG Smart Home. Did not work out. It's really hard to find that person that is the opposite of you that's going to do exactly, you know, it sounds like we're similar. Mark can probably say the same thing, that Ethan and I probably pretty similar, but you know, when you are doing that, you have a better work-life balance versus doing it all yourself. There's just so much going on with
100%.
businesses. Go ahead.
Yeah, my biggest thing is that I know how Nick like works. So like I know if we got to get stuff done, I can rely on Nick to do everything. So like I don't have to worry about if I go on vacation that like stuff's gonna blow up. Which you do, like if you're like a one person owner, like you have no life.
Yep.
So you have to worry about everything. And Nick, he only goes on one vacation a year, and even then, I don't know how much vacationing he actually does, but he still has like that time where he can go and like I can
take care of
things.
Set up.
So it's just so nice knowing, even though how Nick and I are very different in a lot of ways. The one thing, well, I mean, there's a lot of things that we're like very, very similar, but like we're just so in sync and on the same page about how to work, get stuff done, run the business. Like I never have to worry about anything. I
can't tell you how many emails when I write an email, I send it, and then he immediately right after, it's the same thing. And I didn't even talk about it.
Funny.
Yeah.
No, to touch on that, I like to travel a lot, and that was part of what we discussed when we teamed up. I said, Quint, I want to be able to kind of travel and do my thing, and he was totally okay with it. And now it's both of us. We both get to travel. He was just in Turks and Caicos for 9 days.
Ah, jealous.
Funny story. I don't run the projects as much, so, and it's additions that he's very, very good at. So again, he knows a little bit more about the actual work. And he's been doing the additions and the footings and everything like that. So of course, the first addition we go to do while he's gone sets everything up before he leaves. I'm kind of running the addition, and you know, our concrete truck shows up, and we find out right when the concrete truck shows up to pour the footings, we find out that our excavator, and it was an honest mistake. People make mistakes. Didn't measure properly, so we had to dig about 8 inches to the left. And he had to, he had to dig.
Is like a big mismeasurement.
Yeah,
I thought it was like eighth of an inch.
So in layman's terms, he measured inside a wall instead of outside a wall block. So when he dug, there wasn't that. So essentially, of course, the first job that, you know, I'm running, foundation job, Quentin's in Turks and Caicos, and that happens.
And now,
but
Quentin's like, I
I'm
am
never
not
going
going
on
on
Yeah,
vacation
so I
ever
basically,
again.
yeah, I
Thanks,
basically
Ethan.
told him like that ain't happening anymore, bro. You got to stay around here. Like you got like a 2-hour limit. That's about it. No, but we ended up putting the fire out. We didn't have to bother him much on vacation, which is nice, and it worked out. So touching on that is it's nice to have that cushion of someone that you trust while you're gone. So
Definitely.
I remember being in Greece on my honeymoon, working.
I just heard this.
I was sending contracts out at like 7 a.m. while my wife is sleeping, and it's just, I mean, granted, like we just got started. I mean, that was 2019,
Right.
when I did that. I started 2017. They came on 2018. We were still really small, but still, like, it's impossible to completely remove yourself, as much as I would love to, from. This is life. Like, this is our livelihood. This is everything.
I think that's what differentiates good business owners and people that might not be as successful. Granted, if you have it set up properly and it's a well-oiled machine, you got the right team in place, then you might be able to not write contracts on your honeymoon. But until you get to that point, as a business owner, like, you got to put in the work. And I feel like it's just built in some people.
Yeah.
Like, you just know it's like, and funny thing is too, like, sometimes when I'm on vacation, I might feel a little guilty. So I'm sitting there doing a little extra work. I'm like, oh, hey, I shouldn't be here, or should I? I don't know.
Yeah.
What's going on here? But yeah, no, I think that's just built in some people, man. The hustle and the grind. It's like a constant thing.
And I mean,
business.
that's our goal is that we can have people in place. We have directors or whomever, whatever position they are, where there are a lot of things that we don't have to be so hands-on, where we can step back and, like, maybe we don't have to, we can go a week or 2 weeks or a month where we're, like, not even in the office and everything is just perfect.
And that's the hard.
Like, that's the goal, I think, for any business.
And that's the hard part to get to, because you got to find people you trust, and you got to train people to understand your systems and protocols. And I'm sure that you have certain things that need to be done certain ways, or you're not happy. So,
Well, we're in two different industries. Someone makes a mistake in your industry, it's probably going to be a big mistake. Ours, not as much.
Yeah.
So,
case in point, a foundation that was dug improperly.
probably cost you a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, costed about $1,700, which sucked, but we were able to work something out with the excavator, and they took some of it, which is nice. That's another good thing about working with good people, and we work with, like, a lot of the same people all the time. So that's, like, kind of, we have good relationships. Yeah. We have a tight knit group that, if something like that happens, and it's kind of, it's hard to tell whose fault it actually was. We eat it together. It's not, it's not a big deal. And we constantly give each other work. And this year we're trying to get more relationships like that, where we have people that just know they can rely on us. They're selling us to their customer because they already know. So we have a sales guy that's kind of has his own business, but he's, like, selling our work because he knows he can trust us, and he's not worried about shopping around. So that's part of, like, what we're going to do this year, is try to get some more partners with that type of thing. So,
so how do you feel now? I mean, we kind of talked before this, but how'd you know you had to change your processes and streamline everything into one spot?
So hopefully I'm getting married soon. Probably am. Unless she says no. She might say no.
But
could say
hopefully
no.
she doesn't watch this.
She could say no. But I'm not trying to be writing contracts on my honeymoon. So, and I'm sure you guys, as you're in business and you realize it's taken away from stuff that is important to you, like family and friend or whatever, I don't want to be on vacation having to do that. So now it's like, all right, we want to buckle down on our systems and protocols and procedures. And we want to be able to hire someone that might not have so much knowledge and be able to learn our systems, so we don't have to be so involved in everything. And that's when we kind of like, all right, and if we want to scale, to be scalable, people need to be able to learn your systems, and it's got to be user friendly. You know what I mean? So we should be able to hire someone on the streets and teach them our systems if they have a brain, within 2 to 3 months.
Keyword: have a brain.
But yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. Like, we want to, as we get older, we want to spend more time with the family and whatnot, and be able to travel a little more or whatever. Have more us time. And so we realized that we got to buckle down on our systems. And even if it's going to take more time now in the long run, we're looking at the bigger picture. And to be fair, we want to scale and open up another location. So if we don't have those systems in place to be able to copy and paste, then we know it's never going to work. And it's just going to be this revolving door of employees and then us three doing the work that we're trying to have someone else do. So we understand that it's very important that we need to do that now. And we're going to work on it with you guys.
And then, so opening a new location, where are you moving to?
I'm not moving. But we have a friend of ours that kind of franchised his roofing company, American Exteriors, Carney, shouting you out, baby. And he was able to figure it out to where he's got, I don't know, maybe like 27 locations now or 27.
Oh, wow.
I think it might be something else, but it's a good number, and he's 30. So he's absolutely crushing it. And some of his advice was to, if you could take your business and go to another location and be able to be successful, that's when you know quickly if your procedures and protocols are working, or if you got to hit the drawing board and start fixing up your procedures and protocols. So our next move is we want to probably open another location. Once we get all this stuff into place, that's kind of going to be our next step, we think, with kind of scaling, growing. That's the goal, man.
So, I mean, we haven't even told anybody what your business is and what you do. So maybe it's a good point to tell them exactly what you do.
I have an elf shop, and we make stockings for Christmas. No, so we do concrete, masonry, brick, block, stucco, anything with mud. You know, we're more into stamped concrete, which is like decorative concrete. Sure, you guys know what it is. It's just not the regular concrete. It has that pattern on it where you pour it, you let it set up a little bit, you put a mat on top, you stamp it, and then there's color in it, and you seal it. That's kind of like our niche. That's what we're kind of known for in the area. And that's where we want to gear. We want to gear more towards like luxury outdoor patios, fireplaces, and stuff like that. That's kind of what we want to do. That's like where we're heading. So, yeah, man, that's what we do. Not the stocking thing. I lied. That was a lie.
When are you gonna come fix my patio?
I'm not touching that thing, dude. I'm out. I'm out of there, dude. Not happening, bro. Because you're a perfectionist. I think you're like a little bit like me with perfectionism, and it's a blessing and a curse at the same time.
Sure is.
Because you don't want to. When I go out to a job site and something's off by a hair, I'm like, dude, come on. And Quentin's like, dude, you're splitting hairs. I'm like, I quite literally am splitting a hair, but my eyes work that way. You know, I can see things that some people might not bother other people.
But I think that's what made you successful.
I would say it's partly a reason that we have the name we have, you know, and he's the same way.
I mean, how many Google reviews do you have? It's over 100.
153, I just checked.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think
5-star. And if I get a bad one, I'll cry and I won't sleep at night. It's bad. I just, you know, you want people to know that you care about your work. Like I want a perfect product. It's not gonna happen all the time, but that's how I want all the jobs to be top quality.
Have you ever received 1 star, and then how'd you handle it to get that 5-star?
We've never ever. We've received a 1 star when I told somebody that we would not come to their area, or I lied. I think it was a job that was really small, and it was like in Allentown, and I was like, listen, hey, you know, the job's a little bit too small for us, and you're kind of out of our service area. And she wrote a review saying that I profiled her and that I didn't even come out to look at the job. And I contacted her and I was really nice. And I was like, listen, I'm sorry you felt that way, you know, blah, blah, blah. And she actually took it off. That was a 1-star review. And the other one was, I think something happened with my phone. I might have lost it in some crazy country I was at. And I had a site visit planned and I didn't show up because I didn't have her information. I completely lost her information. And at that point, we didn't have a CRM or like a backup. So we were doing it kind of like old school and like, I forget what it was. I was like storing information in my phone still. And she was like, oh, he never showed up. So she gave us a 1-star, but she took that off too.
Wow.
5 stars, baby.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, like, you lie quite a bit.
Yeah, I do. That's the thing. Usually that's how I sell my work. Just lie to the customers. This is going to be absolutely perfect. Concrete will not crack.
First, he's lying about the elf shop.
So
he's lying about the
How do you know
1-star
I don't
reviews.
actually have an elf shop?
Because you said you did.
Yeah.
Also, his name's
But
not
then
really
he could
Ethan,
be
it's
li-
Chris. You were right in the beginning.
Right.
This
Yeah,
isn't
blooper.
pizza. This is my
Blooper.
hand.
Right. Yeah.
Sweet, man. This is a cool podcast.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming out. Do you have any other questions for Ethan? Or
I think we actually, I think we should kind of dig more into a little bit. What's our running time right now? Go bananas. Okay, perfect. So,
This banana, BANANAS.
there's our intro.
Sorry.
There we
Sorry.
go. We
There's
got
our-
it.
karaoke for the night.
Beep, beep, beep.
So, like, if you were to like break down, like Nick and I, like our roles are pretty defined for the most part, even though we don't actually have anything in writing because that's just how a normal business operates.
Wait, hold on. Writing, business plan. Do you have one?
Business plan. No.
No.
Wow, impressive. We don't either.
Yeah.
we don't
Good
have anything we're supposed
But
to have.
continue.
Business plan. I feel like isn't that something you do like in the beginning? Like this is what
Yes.
we see.
It's what you're
happen, but
it's what you're
we
supposed
kinda,
to do.
Yeah,
in the
we kind of
beginning.
just wung it. Is that a word? Wung?
winged it.
Winged it.
Winged it.
We winged it.
We
Okay,
wing-
we
wing
winged
it.
it.
I wung it though.
We wung it.
Yeah.
I wung it.
We won
Wang.
it. We wung it and won it. We got it.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead. Continue.
So like, how do you guys determine like you want to do one thing, Quentin wants to do one thing? How do you determine which way you're going to go?
Well, that was a total shitstorm as of late. I mean, we both dealt with a lot of it. It's like, you know, I was, again, when things went wrong, I'd be so quick to jump the gun and jump down people's throats.
Yeah.
And we quickly figured out, or Quentin quickly figured out that, and now I know, in hindsight, looking back, it's like, it didn't help when I was doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So we figured out what I'd be best at, which is not having to deal with or see any of the group chats that we're in. So when something does go wrong with a job, I'm over here working on sales and marketing. That's what I'm doing now. This year, I'm sales and marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Once I sell the job and I do all my marketing, I'm going to be going to the jobs, creating content, really solely focusing on that because that's huge. And Quentin's going to deal with the project management, training a project manager. He's training. I mean, Quentin's been putting in so much work with this young guy, Aiden. He's like 21. He actually used to bartend at Northbound, and he was just like he has that entrepreneur mindset.
Does he want to come work at SE Locale?
No.
Okay.
No.
No.
He's with
okay.
us. He's
okay.
with us.
Sorry.
But yeah, so long story short, Quentin took the reins on that, the numbers, and Aiden simplified all our bidding processes. We have square footage numbers. So all that stuff, I'm over sales marketing. Quentin's doing the numbers, project management, and hopefully we could put people into place where it's like, okay, project manager,
Right.
office manager, and Quentin's doing sales with me. So we're just selling more work and our volume goes up, revenue goes up. We could hire out more people, scale, get bigger, and it's just like a snowball effect. So that's like the plan that we're putting in motion, and that's like what we want to do. And we don't have like a end game. It's like, oh, do we want 10 trucks, 20 trucks? And I'm like that guy that's like,
Yeah.
I want it all.
I know.
So it's like,
That's what we
I want
talk.
100 trucks.
say
if
that
I could.
all
I
the
couldn't
time.
tell you in the beginning when we started, we were like, yeah, I'd be good with like 4 employees and then like maybe $50,000 a month in revenue would be good.
Mm-hmm.
And it just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and there's no cap to it. You have to have those scaling processes to make sure you're giving that same product from day one till today.
Yep. Yeah. No, that's important. And we've been doing it one way so long. We finally are like, all right, let's buckle down. Let's get it done. And we're going to invest in the company and figure it out now. So we're not continuing to do what we've been doing. Not saying it didn't work. It could just work better. You know what I mean? That's where we're at. So
That's the biggest thing. And people ask like, oh, like how big do you wanna grow?
yeah.
I don't know. How big is life gonna let me grow?
Yeah.
I don't,
No,
like,
100%.
we keep saying like, oh yeah, like 4 employees, 7 employees, 10 employees, 15. Now we have almost 20.
That's awesome.
And it's like,
Love it.
and it's like, well, we could go a little bit more.
Mhm.
You know, like we can bring on some more clients.
Yeah.
There's just never, and I mean, like that's how I feel like people need to. Well, that's how I feel like business owners operate. Like it's nothing is ever like, or maybe I just have like mental like actual like psychosis, mental problems. You know, like I should be seeing like a therapist or something.
You should,
But,
but there's other business owners that literally sit here when we give them too much SEO. They go, I can't take any more work.
Oh yeah,
How do you
that
not
pisses me
scale
off
at
more
that
than
point?
anything.
Like you need to
That drives me
scale.
nuts.
See, that's we're gonna figure it out. We're taking all that work and we're going to now, granted, quality is huge in our line of work. You start losing quality and like last year, we had so much going on that I'm not going to say quality started to slip, but things started to slip through the cracks. And that's when I kind of started losing my cool. Yeah, slipping through the cracks, yeah. But yeah, so last year it got a little stressful because we were running 4 crews at a time. We had 6 to 8 jobs sometimes where it's like, okay, like did someone go check the end product? Like, all right, did we clean up good enough? Is there concrete splattered somewhere? And that little stuff matters, like when it comes to concrete work. Like you want to go in, you want to make sure when you leave, it looks like you were never there. That's like, honestly, homeowners could look at a job and it might not even be the best concrete work, but if you leave a little splatter on their brand new driveway they just got paved, these guys suck. You know what I mean? And it could, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's a fine line between keeping quality and scaling. It's a lot. I'm sure you guys know that, but again, you guys are in a different line of work. I don't know how that looks like.
Yeah, but it's not that like that different. It's obviously, like you said, it's a little bit different because it's a different line of work and everything. But like, people, when people want to say like get really overwhelmed in whatever their department is. Like for example, I don't remember how long ago it was, but like our content team was just like, we have so much content going on.
Yeah, we
can't figure it out. Like we need more people. But the answer isn't more people because we already had the entire 66% of the department was brand new.
Right.
So like just because you hire a new person, you get a new body in place, that doesn't mean that all your problems are fixed. Yeah. You still got to train that person. They got to get up to speed. They got to improve on their quality and how quickly they can work. So, it's a lot of times it's just making sure that the process that you have in place is strong enough so that as you continue to scale and you're scaling, I mean, of course you can't go 1,000,000 miles an hour because that's how things fall apart. But if you're slowly growing and you're slowly building out and scaling up, then you have the time to train new employees, to grow whatever departments that you need to grow. You have the time to build that out.
And that's to touch on that. It's like if you're doing 10 different things, you don't have the time to do that. So now, like how we see it is we're working on the infrastructure of the company. So we don't have time to be dealing with a little bit of customer issues. And it's like we have other things to focus on. And as soon as we take our focus away from that, it's like we're right back to square one. It's like we're doing the stuff that we said we weren't going to do. So that's why, again, it's important to give other people those duties and make sure that the systems are in place and it works.
Yeah, I mean, that content issue, we changed the process. We probably saved about 60% of their time just by changing our process. That was maybe another employee in that department that we didn't have to get, which we didn't get because we knew it was the process. So like as a business owner, you need to understand those processes in place. What can you change to improve the efficiency? And it sounds like you're in that position right now where
case in point.
We're here.
Yeah.
But you're going to take that and it might save you multiple salaries in the future if you have this process in place, because now you can scale efficiently and you have everything all in one place.
In SEO, Locale, I trust.
Locale.
Chris, Ethan.
Not pizza.
Locale. This is not pizza. This is Locale Lounge.
Not pizza.
Not pizza.
It was good though, right?
No, this is cool.
Okay.
Yeah, we would like to do this more. I mean, I feel like
we got to get Quentin in here.
I feel like people probably could give 2 fucks, but maybe it would be cool for people to
that's
watch.
What I said last episode is there's at least 5 people listening to this right now.
Entire family.
And it's just my family.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get some new listeners from Ethan's crew over here.
I mean, I'm sure people would listen and just, maybe there's some other business owners that are dealing with the same stuff and they're like, need some help with it.
Yeah, we always want to have business owners in here. You don't have to be a client or anything.
Yeah.
Anybody can come in.
Well, we got Dwight, our excavator. He's really down to get in and talk about business and how, problems that arise and stuff like that. He's been wanting to do a podcast, and Dwight's the man.
Let's get him in here.
Yeah,
you can be in here.
Yeah, well, let's do another one.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Speaking
of.
Oh, damn. All right. I think
it's a customer. I don't give a shit.
That's the end of that.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll wrap it up. Thank you all for tuning in to our 4th episode of Locale Lounge. Nick here, Mark here, Ethan, not Chris, pizza, not pizza, Chris here.
Pizza, not pizza.
Tune in next time. We appreciate it. Much love.
Peace out.